Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, everyone, buckle up, because today's court session is absolutely wild. We've got a man named Matthew Aldridge, or at least that's the name on the papers. But the guy standing at the podium seems determined to ignore reality. He's calling himself an attorney of fact, which, by the way, isn't even recognized in actual law. These sovereign citizen types love to argue that the court has no power over them. But here's the truth. Courts have jurisdiction over anyone within their territory, no exceptions. The judge isn't having any of it and shuts him down in a way that's equal parts firm and hilarious. By the end, the judge completely outmaneuvers him, making this one of the most memorable courtroom moments. Let's dive in and see exactly how it all unfolded.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not at this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me.
Have a copy of it.
Oh, apparently there's a copy here.
Yeah.
Now, this guy didn't just stop at claiming some fake title. He tried to back it up with papers. He handed the judge a document that supposedly granted him the right to represent Matthew Aldridge. For anyone watching at home, this wasn't a real law. It was a fabricated set of rules that only exist in his imagination. Real attorneys have to be licensed, follow strict procedures, and play by actual legal rules, not just scribble on a piece of paper and call it law. Sovereign citizens like him love to argue jurisdiction, acting as if declaring themselves above the law somehow works. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Courts operate on real, time-tested legal principles, and judges have no patience for this kind of fantasy legal drama. Honestly, it makes you wonder, are these cases becoming more common, or do I just have the worst luck stumbling into them? Sound off in the comments. I want to know your take.
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Question. Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Will that be an Article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right. To Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
The judge handling the situation deserves a lot of credit. Calm, composed, and razor sharp, he dismantled every point the man tried to make. The attorney of fact barely had a chance to speak before the judge tore apart his arguments piece by piece. At times, it seemed like the judge was personally amused by the nonsense, especially when the man tried quoting his made-up laws. One of the funniest moments? The judge told him he couldn't even speak his own name properly in court. Classic. You don't usually see judges show any expression, so seeing a hint of humor here made it even better. But make no mistake, the judge wasn't wasting a second on this circus, proving just how pointless these stunts really are. At the end of the day, it's a masterclass in handling courtroom absurdity.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are, in fact, Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens are something else entirely. These are people who genuinely believe they can opt out of the legal system simply by claiming they don't recognize government authority. They'll spout off about common law or the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, completely misunderstanding how these laws actually work. Courts operate under federal, state, and local laws that have been established for centuries and are backed by the Constitution. There's no loophole that lets you just ignore the rules. Yet, these individuals clog up courtrooms with bizarre arguments, wasting everyone's time and achieving nothing except a potential criminal record. The whole sovereign citizen defense falls apart because courts have jurisdiction over anyone in their geographic area. Period. Judges see these arguments all the time, and they don't entertain them for a second. And for those trying to dodge taxes or skip traffic tickets using this nonsense, not only will it fail, but it could land you in even bigger trouble. Honestly, it's sad. They're not fighting the system. They're just making themselves look foolish. That's all for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe, and drop your thoughts about sovereign citizens in the comments below. Thanks for watching and take care.